Serial murderers as those who kill at least 3 people over time, with cooling off periods between the murders. When serial killers are identified, it may be because they leave their characteristic signatures on their victims' bodies or at the crime scene. Serial killers could be categorized into organized and disorganized killers. An organized killer has above average intelligence, may collect souvenirs, and carefully plans crimes. A disorganized killer has average or below average intelligence, lacks manipulation and cunning behavior, and trophies are less frequently taken. A frequent association appears between serial homicide and 2 other crimes, burglary and rape. Many serial killers collect trophies from the crime scene that they keep as mementos of the kill. These can range from articles of jewelry or clothing to internal organs. Other serial killers engage in necrophilia, having sex with the dead body, some even preserving parts of the body for later use, or returning to repeatedly have sex with the decomposing corpse. The case of Arthur Shawcross is the example that is being used as evidence. He suffered from a number of mental disorders. Sociopath is the informal term for sufferers of antisocial personality disorder. It includes antisocial behavior and attitudes. Psychopaths are a type of sociopath at extreme level, meaning they are more dangerous than sociopaths. Both sociopaths and psychopaths tend to be defined by various factors such as criminal behavior and substance abuse.
Arthur Shawcross committed 2 acts of murder before his main series of killings. The first was 10-year-old Jack Owen Blake on May 7, 1972. Shawcross lured the boy into some woods before raping and murdering him. 4 months later, on September 2nd, he raped and killed 8-year-old Karen Ann Hill, who was in town with her mother for the Labor Day weekend. These early acts of rape and serious violence is related back to Arthur's cognitive difficulties and childhood. Arthur was diagnosed by psychiatrist Dorothy Lewis as to having a small degree of brain damage and multiple personality disorder, also known as DID. This multiple personality disorder is where a person characterizes at least 2 personality states. In Arthur's case, it could be argued that his normal life and his murders were the sum of these 2 polar opposite personalities harbored within his mind. Furthermore, prosecution psychiatrist Dr. Park Dietz stated Shawcross had antisocial personality disorder, which is a condition where a person can disregard morals and the feelings of others. Arthur could have developed this condition through the trauma of his early life.
Arthur specifically victimized sex workers and young children, however there was one exception. One of his victims, called June Stott, was not a prostitute or used drugs, but she was mentally ill, implying Arthur targeted vulnerable individuals. Shawcross mutilated June by cutting off her labia, which Arthur kept in his possession, linking to the sexual nature of his killings. This also links to the social learning theory, as his role models when he was a child was his aunt and mother, who sexually abused him very regularly. This may have led to him normalizing these horrific actions, therefore allowing him to fuel his actions and behaviors when he abused and murdered his victims. As a result of this, Arthur's second round of murders could be categorized into the organized typology, as he killed by strangulation, left stab wounds from a blunt object, and bite marks around most of his victims' genitals. Shawcross was caught by the FBI as he was spotted on top of the bridge where his victim was laying, urinating on the dead body. This shows the lack of empathy he felt towards his victims. This also links to Bonn, who argued that psychopaths are unable to feel empathy towards others.
The biological defects an individual may possess, especially those related to brain injury and trauma, and chromosomal abnormalities are possible explanations for serial killer predisposition. Cross suggested that biological aspects such as the hypermasculinity and brain injury are relevant identifiable precursors for potential violence. This can be seen in Arthur Shawcross's case. He suffered from brain injuries. He had damage to the temporal lobe and a cyst in his brain as well. Also, Shawcross was believed to suffer from seizures due to this. This was linked to the possible trauma in his childhood. The chromosome abnormality that he had and the brain damage are explanations for biological reasons why Arthur was a serial killer. The McDonald triad can be used as a psychological explanation. The main 3 aspects are bedwetting past 5 years old, pyromania, and animal cruelty. Overall, Arthur Shawcross is a prime example of how early life experiences and abuse can lead to known psychological disorders and mental problems, which are usually the root of all serial killers.